Gather round, bad witches. My name is Jade and welcome to my Bad Witch Emporium. Today I wanted to talk to you about what do you want to do when you want to start witchcraft? Where do you start? There's so many sources and information at our fingertips, and it's easy to get so overwhelmed when you have a curiosity in this topic, but there's just so much information out there. So I'm going to give you a few helpful tips to start your journey and guide you in the direction that you are wanting to go in this craft. First thing to focus on is research. Research is always going to be your best friend forever. It is not a one and done type thing. You are just simply going to have to learn to love the fiending for information, the research, the checking sources, right? And searching for that information. It's going to be a part of your craft just as much as actually experimenting and practicing with it. Keep in mind, you can research all you want in the world too, but it means nothing unless you apply the information. That's another thing. A lot of times people can sit on information. They will fiend for that information, right? They love the research, but then they won't apply it. They might be too scared. And don't be scared. I know it can be nerve-wracking to start this journey, but you have to start somewhere and start small. It doesn't have to be anything grandiose. It can be something personal to you as you go. The second thing to understand is you are always going to evolve, okay? This is a constant state of evolution. This is not a finish line type of situation. So in the beginning, we start out on a search for getting something done. Usually we have a desire in mind, a goal in mind, right? The reason why you want to start casting spells. However, that's not the end of the line. You might start out in the craft somewhere and end up completely different in a completely different rabbit hole in your journey altogether, and that's okay. Go with the flow, keep evolving into the kind of witch you want to become and cultivating the specific craft you want to practice. The third thing to understand is you don't have to put a label on it, okay? A lot of people, especially myself, when I first started, I'm like, okay, I have to figure out exactly what witch I want to be. Who do I want to be? Do I want to be a green witch? I labeled myself the green witch, right? Because I liked plants, I liked herbs, and I had crystals. I was a crystal witch, but I quickly learned that putting a label on it can often hinder our journeys because a few months later, I had to start performing baneful magic, right, for my own safety. And baneful magic was not really in my, itinerary for becoming a witch at the time. I was like, you know what? I just want to heal myself and I want to feel good. And I want to learn about plants more and how I can practice with them. So don't put a label on it. Don't worry about it. A witch is a witch. Whatever you do, if you are casting spells, you're a witch. That's all you need to know. The fourth thing to understand is that you can practice witchcraft with any religion. I know this sounds very counterintuitive. People might argue with me about this. But there is witchcraft in every religion, whether they want to admit it or not. So don't be alarmed if you are finding out your religion that you're in now has its own niche of witchcraft. And feel free to explore this, right? Dive deep into your roots, into your own traditions, your ancestral traditions, that is. And don't be scared to jump in. You don't have to be Wiccan to practice witchcraft. You don't have to be pagan. You don't have to honor or worship deities to practice witchcraft, which is also a misunderstanding in the community. You can be a Christian witch. You can be a Buddhist witch. There are so many different witches out there in religions. You just have to find what works for you, your traditions, your ancestry, what tracks for you, okay? The next thing to understand is there's an order of operations, PEMDAS, as I call it, the witchy PEMDAS, of how to practice spell casting, okay? And learning how to do rituals is a thing in itself. However, the standard spell work you want to learn first is going to be banishing, cleansing, and protection in that specific order, and rinse and repeat, okay? You have nasty negative energies. This is like basics, foundation. You have to learn how to get rid of the negative energy. Then you have to learn how to cleanse from this energy and then protect yourself from it, okay? So explore these 3 avenues: banishing, cleansing, and protecting, and then you can start to build on more elaborate spell works, right? The love spells, the transmutations, the whatever it is that you feel compelled to practice. It's important to learn banishing, cleansing, protecting in that order, and rinse and repeat until the end of time. Spiritual hygiene. This is called spiritual hygiene, essentially. And when we have good spiritual hygiene, we are creating a routine to keep us spiritually cleansed, right? And safe from harmful negative energies. This may look like taking a spiritual bath. This may look like, putting sigils everywhere, cleaning up your house. This is also a great way to cleanse as well. So establish your own routine with these 3 and grow your routine on top of that. At the end of the day, don't overwhelm yourself. There's so much information, and I also have a lot of resources in my Patreon as well that are free. I have free resources for how to learn witchcraft, how to research in the craft, and also how to vet the sources, right? We want to know that this information is coming from a reliable source, right? So I go in and I teach you how to do this all for free on my Patreon. So if you're still unsure on how to research in the witchcraft, you don't know where to start, what book recommendations to have, then you can also check out my Patreon as well. I have a free membership just for that, okay? So don't get overwhelmed with information. Take it one step at a time. Quality versus quantity, okay? Maybe we just focus on one small thing to learn instead of an entire slew of ideas, which can be very overwhelming. Again, quality versus quantity. Take your time. You have your entire existence to evolve, to learn, and to cultivate your skills, sharpen your skills, okay? So don't feel like you have to be in a rush to learn things. Take your time, and take your time to understand concepts you are learning. So I hope this helps, bad witches. Let me know if you have any questions. Blessed be.